For the do while loop, well, remember with the while loop was a pre-test loop. So in other words, your condition would be tested before the loop runs. So it's going to test your condition, then run the loop. So if your condition is false, it's never going to run the loop. If your condition is true, it's going to run the loop until it becomes false. With the do while loop is a post-test loop. So what that means is that it's always going to run the loop at least once, no matter what your condition is. If your condition is false, it's going to run the loop at least once, and then it'll exit. Or if it's true, then it will continue to run the loop until your condition becomes false. So the syntax for this loop is do, and then we're going to have some statements in these curly braces. So these are your statements that are going to execute they're going to execute at least once, and then we have while, and then we have our expression that we're testing right here. And one thing with the syntax for this loop, you need this semicolon right here. So make sure to put a semicolon at the end of this while expression on your do while loop, otherwise you'll get a compilation error. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to come in, so let's say we're right here in the code. It's going to go directly into the loop, execute these statements. So that's what it means by a post-test loop. It's going to execute everything within the loop before it tests your expression. Then it's going to test your expression. If your expression is false, it's just going to exit the loop and keep going. If your expression is true, it will go back up here, run your statements again, and then test the condition again. So an example of this is, let's say that we have an integer x that's equal to 1, and then we say do, and then let's say we just want to do a cout statement. Let's just say we're going to cout x, and then we have while x is less than 0. We need the semicolon at the end of that line. So this is going to come in, and it's going to print out the x. Let's say this is executing. It's going to print out, well, it's going to print out 1 to the console because the x is equal to 1. And then it's going to get down to our condition, find that it's false, and it's going to exit the loop. So a really good use for a do while loop is menus, because you're always going to give the user their options at least once. And so you can give them their options, and you might have a loop that exits if, like, let's say you have a menu and you have like some options and then maybe 4 is exit. So you could have a loop that when they exit, the while becomes false, your condition in the while becomes false, and then it exits the loop. Otherwise, it'll keep running whatever you have inside that loop, do whatever the user asked for. So let's say we have add a number, print a number, etc. So the user could say add a number, and then instead of exiting the program once it does that, it'll go back up to the top of your do while loop, give the user the menu again, so then they can choose another option like print a number or whatever else you might have in there, or they might select to exit.